Well, no sense beating around the bush about it. Yes, my weight has crept back upwards. Um, if you give two shits, you've been following any of it. I wanted to drop a bunch of weight, so I did. Of course, that required losing a bunch of muscle because I didn't have enough fat to get down as low in body weight as I wanted to get to. Now that I'm older, I don't want to carry all the weight around. Maybe it's not the healthiest thing to walk around in the 270s year round every year. So I'm certainly not going to get that big again. Although it's very tempting because I'm sure I very easily could. I went all the way down into the low 220s at one point, and now I didn't realize. I knew I was getting bigger, but I didn't know I was up where I'm at now. I've just been ignoring it and I haven't been weighing myself. I've just been training and eating and getting swole. Brother Joseph from Italy was here with us this holiday. This past few days, this Christmas, he stayed here and came down and visited because he's in the U.S. He came over here to get some medical attention for a shoulder and an elbow that needed repaired that, well, quite frankly, got botched in an earlier operation in his homeland, Italy. So he came over here, Mayo Clinic, had one of them done there, I think the elbow, then he had the shoulder done somewhere else, and he ended up going to rehabilitative therapy in Manhattan. So he's in Manhattan, Harlem, in fact. So if we have any brothers or sisters in Harlem, that's where you can find Joseph. If you want to train with him and catch up with him, he's got a great physique, very intelligent, very well-mannered, awesome, mature, responsible young man, and very knowledgeable about nutrition and training. So this video is due to the fact that he pointed out to me, he was like amazed the entire time he was here when he observed how I actually eat. You know, candidly, how I actually eat throughout the day and night. Fairly. Because his diet, the way that he eats, is really, really meticulous. I mean, the old school shit with a scale. His portions are weighed out. He knows what each one weighs, what it contains. And he eats the same things at certain times, and he will not deviate. He will not deviate. Holidays, whatever. He's not going to treat himself. He's not going to deviate. He's still going to do, stay on point. And then he sees me, and I seem to be just mostly drinking my nutrition, in the form of large bottles of Fairlife milk, 2 a day, some other protein supplement, these. I drink a couple of these a day, and I still have meals, solid meals, but my proteins are from very easily, very, very no fuss, no muss assimilated sources. And I guess I take it for granted because I've been doing this so long, it's just second nature, so I don't realize that that's like, that if you really saw what it, how I go about it, that it's shocking or surprising to anyone. But the reality is, this thermogenic issue, like I tell you about food, right? And I've told you, if you want to get big and you're having difficulty, then you need to conserve calories. Calories are the coin of the realm. You want to have mostly liquid nutrition if you're trying to get big, especially with protein, because protein is the most calorically costly macro for your body to digest and absorb, to assimilate. It's the most expensive. It requires the most energy to do this. Energy equals calories being calories. That's what energy is. So everything costs calories. Liquid nutrition it's beyond arguing. I know somebody will try to argue it, but it's pointless. I mean, it would be like a fool's game to even argue with it. Liquid nutrition is much more readily assimilated and absorbed by the body. It costs almost nothing. Almost nothing. So since protein's the most expensive macro anyway, at least all the protein, if I'm trying to get big, all the protein is going to come from Mostly, it's all going to come from sources that are very easy to assimilate and absorb. So you're talking eggs, lots of milk, whey, isolate, supplements. Yeah, people tell you again and again that supplements are garbage and they don't work and it's that. Supplements are food. Supplements are a more sophisticated version of food, an isolated, if you will, version of food, of a macro, right? Like I use my carb source as my, Carbolin, pre-workout for a reason, and I'm not going to get into all that. I've gone into it so much. If you're not down with it by now, then you're missing the train, man. You're missing the train, And then what kills me is without fail, it never fails that somebody, a brother or whoever that I know, will be training their ass off, trying to get swole, and I've given them all the tools, I've given them all the information, the straight deal, the real dope, not no bullshit, the real thing, what it really is, right? The real thing, how to put on muscle, how to build muscle most efficiently. And they don't listen. They do their own version of something for whatever reason. Don't even really try it. Don't even give it a really solid attempt to find out for themselves. And then when they come down, like, I'll give you a perfect example. Got a brother now getting ready to come down. Got him moving down here. He's going to be staying with another brother. And they're going to be working together. And they're going to be training with me now. So we'll be training in the evenings together all through the week and stuff. And down here, we have so many resources here, man. I mean, you have to be somebody who's been here to see what it really is, the shit you don't see on the videos. We have such a network, it's unfucking believable. In real life, not the YouTube, right? Real life. And food, whatever is needed, man. Anybody needs anything, it's there. Good quality shit too. Venison out the ass, if you need it. Fish, whatever. We have so many people that, hunt and go out and get these things. Anyway, anybody comes down, they come down, they move down, my brother's getting ready to come down, and I can assure you, I guarantee you, he will make the most progress in his first couple of months down here that he's made in years. In years. I guarantee that. I will bet cash money on that. Why? Well, what the busters will say the reason why is, but that's not the reason why. The reason why is because the shit that I'm telling you is real shit. It's shit I know. It's not shit I've read. It's not shit I saw in a study somewhere. It's not shit I can quote. It's shit that I know. I know, and I've told you a million times. It's a big difference between knowing something firsthand, knowing it because you've seen it, you've put it into practice, you've reaped the benefit of it, you know it. That's knowing something. You could know how to play guitar, for instance, right? Versus having read all about it, or anything, with anything else. It's the same way. Knowing something, you don't know something just because you read it. You can't really say you know it, I mean, I guess you can, but like I said, it's a fool's game, some things are. Anyway, you want to get big. If you're having a hard time, if you don't want to get big, that's cool too. Joseph, for instance, he doesn't want to get overly big. He likes a more svelte look, a more aesthetic in his eye look, and he's got a good build, and he's down with that. Eric Wojo, another guy, right? Form and function. Incredible physique, plenty of muscle, but, he's the vegan Spider-Man. The shit that he does, he can't be swollen up like some kind of, mass monster because it's going to negatively impact his ability to perform in his chosen sport or his field of interest. The physical shit that he does. But if you're trying to get big and you want to get big, then it's all about conservation of calories, man. Lessen those expenditures, and you do that by just keep it simple. Getting big is the easy part. Getting lean and holding on to the muscle, that's when you got to use this a little bit, your noggin. That's a little bit more complicated. It takes more thought, more planning, all that shit. I still food prep. Val, actually literally Val does it for me. But It's so much easier to get your swole on. You know, I mean, this is me balked. And I'm not talking about getting fat. I'm talking about, you know, putting on some muscle. It's so easy. You want easy to absorb, low cost nutrition. Low cost. That way you don't have to eat as much in volume to get the calories that you need. I'm not talking about the number that you're taking in. I'm talking about the remainder. You know, after it's all said and done, everything's paid for. You understand where I'm going with this? You know, if you've watched any of my videos, you should know by now this, all this. Whereas if I want to get lean, I'm switching up the sources of everything. Now it's lots of fiber stuff. Instead of juices, it's the whole, you know, the whole thing, the whole vegetables, the whole fruits, the whole, you know, more fiber stuff, more costly things to chew and process and digest and absorb, right? Things that are more costly to assimilate. You follow? Anyway, that's it. I just get back from the gym. I'm tired. It's late. I'm gonna try and get more videos up. You know, if Joseph were on YouTube, he could tell you it's hectic, busy, a lot goes on. You guys have an awesome night, and at least it's Friday.